You've been reading about your chakras?
Yeah, well, I actually am really into them because I wanted to get the tattoo on my back going down, like starting from my neck down.
Oh.
But yeah, I definitely read about it in the
That's all good. I sent you a little snippet of that when we were talking about chakras. Okay, well, I don't have much to get into for the latecomers. We'll have them sit there, but our guest today is Steph Love. Her actual name is Stephanie Lask. We've been friends now for about, what, 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah.
I think around.
Yeah, it's about to be 4 soon, but because really we became really strong with my mom, right before my mom passed. She heard all the stories, heard all the trials and tribulations. We've heard our men's stories, educational stories, whatever the case is. But she's really dope. I'll let her tell you about herself. Make sure, don't forget to tell her where you're from, what high school, what college you went to, what else you do, and don't forget to let them know that you're on what else you do as far as your talent goes. And she also I asked her to have information for VA legends when it came to spoken word and poets, because that is her scene, and so she can actually drop us with some of that knowledge. So I'll just let you take over, and her Twitter is up.
Good morning. This is weird having my Twitter right here. I hope you didn't read all of it. No, it's good. It's okay if you read all of it. My name is Stephanie Lask. I go by the name of Steph Love. Been performing spoken word for 9.5 years now. Been writing way longer than that. Let's see, I've worn many hats in the area. I was part of a group that put on a showcase every last Tuesday of the month. We ran a showcase for 8 years. During that time, I was also a part of a group, like a spoken word acoustic group called Parks and Recs. And now I am the new Slam Master, which is the coach for the adult poetry slam team. For the last couple of years, we went to a regional competition called Southern Fried Regional Poetry Slam. It's in a different city every year in the Southeast region, but out of 32 teams last year, we got 7th in the region, which is pretty good. So I'm very excited for coaching this team this year. And I'm very thankful for the Slam Masters that, came before. So I want to shout them out real quick. So our first year Slam Master, and again, the Slam Master is the coach. So they say what goes in the competition. So first Slam Master we had was Katrina Soler. And then last year we had Lady S, Shania Speller or Perkins. She's married, so I don't know her. I don't know her married last name because we always just call her S. So, so now I'm the new Slam Master. I do want to talk a little bit about Virginia legends as far as poetry is concerned. So a lot of the I'm gonna name these names because they have 20 plus years of experience in the area. Also just being some of the founding fathers. So Tim Siebels, I'm not sure if he's still teaching poetry at ODU, but
is he really tall with glass? Oh my gosh, he's in the English class right before I go in for my social linguistics. He's there. He's still teaching.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. So Tim Siebels, an amazing author, amazing poet.
Handsome.
Yeah.
He is. True. I was if you was my teacher, I'm just saying. I'd be focused.
Very smooth in his writing, I'll say. Nathan Richardson, he is a teaching artist with young audiences in Virginia, which I'm also a teaching artist with young audiences. But he does a lot of presentations on Frederick Douglass. He gets completely into character. To the wig, he already has the gray beard, so he does a lot of really dope historic work on that. He's also an author and also, an amazing poet. He was also one of the coaches for the youth slam team at for the Hampton Roads Youth Poetry team through Teens with a Purpose. Also, Godchild Thielman, he's one of the founding fathers of the scene. I think it's 20, I know everyone that I'm naming here is 20 plus years in the scene. So he's one of the founding fathers. Jeff Hewitt, he was on the first slam team that went to Southern Fried. Southern Fried is going on its 27th year. So before 2016, the last time Norfolk had a presence at Southern Fried was 2004, and ironically enough, their Tina Nazareth, who's also a Virginia legend, won the individual slam that year. So, and that's out of like the whole entire competition. So, so Jeff Hewitt, amazing slam poet, just poet, author, spoken word artist in general, also photographer. He was nominated for a Bear Magazine Award this year. There's another guy, I feel like I don't know his last name, but I know his name is Malcolm. He was also on that originating slam team back in '04. So a few others I want to name, Dr. Crystal Lee Ensley. She was around that time of, there was an open mic called Urban Safari. I came later in the game, like 10 years later in the game, so that had already been done. And also another person from that time is Hamza Atoy. So these are some of the Virginia legends of the poetry scene here. Some are still around. Tim Siebels is still around, Nathan Richardson, Guy Child, Jeff Hewitt, Malcolm comes out every now and then. Crystal Lee is actually teaching at John Jay University. I believe she teaches Africana Studies, I want to say.
Where at?
John Jay.
Okay.
In New York. Hamza, I know he's still around. I know he's still writing. I see him posting different poems and stuff. He works with Knots a lot. The producer.
Music. Mm-hmm.
So So aside from that, we have new up and coming legends. So as I was saying, I'm the slam master for the adult poetry slam team called Verb Benders. This is our 3rd year.
Yeah.
I host the poetry slam every first Wednesday at the venue on 35th Street. That's our home venue. We just recently had our grand slam, so now we have our team formed. The team officially, because we had some people who drop out, our team officially is me as the slam master and coach, Jenna May, Godchild, Cassandra is free, and Maddie Garcia. So nice little mixture of, men and women. And like I said, we got 7th in the region last year. This year, we really want to make final stage, and we got a lot of work to do for the competition in June. So, so I think.
Did you tell me your high school? Did you tell me your college, by the way?
I did not.
Please do. Hello.
So I went to school. I went to high school at Green Run High School in Virginia Beach. I went to Norfolk State University, graduated in '05. I got my bachelor's in graphic design. I currently do web design at InMotion Hosting. I work as a coder, so basically I get the design from the designer and then I build it into WordPress and all that good nerdy stuff. So let's see, what else? I talked a little bit about Young Audiences of Virginia. They're a nonprofit organization that is all about arts for learning. So they have a lot of
what we doing?
They have a lot of artists. Obviously, like that's the main type of teacher that they have. I just started a 5-week residency. They have me going to different schools, primarily in Newport News. I think they focus a lot on Newport News. But I'm at Palmer Elementary, and I'm doing a 3rd grade workshop. Poetry slam workshop. So I got them like really hyped to like do this like battle. So last week, always throughout my workshops, we always do like an intro just to kind of like tell me what you think is a poem, like write it out. So they were really excited. I have a few like stars in that class. And then this week we're gonna do haiku. And I kind of adopted something that I saw at Southern Fried, which was a haiku death match. So I told them today that we're gonna do like a haiku battle. And they were like, yeah! So that's a great thing about teaching, elementary school. I was actually kind of afraid of it, but so I'm teaching artists with them. I've been with them, I want to say, I think it's going on like 4 or 5 years now. So in the last couple of years, they've kept me pretty busy with doing workshops. So from 3rd grade to middle school, I just did a workshop in the summer with the Department of Human Services, working with at-risk youth, and that was just an amazing, amazing time. Like, had a lot of like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I write really good, and I want to tell you all my poems. So it was like, it was so rewarding. So so that's it. Do you guys want to hear some poems? Yay! All right, so as requested, the first joint, so I'm gonna do two. They're both like hip hop based. This first one is, I kind of like personified hip hop in this way of just being in love with it. And so yeah, so this one is called Hip Hop Love Story. You were like my metaphorical wedding ring before I even met you, because we were betrothed and everything boom bap. I took naps in your rhythm patterns and woke up in outer space on another planet, listening to those sounds that made me fall in love. Some say you were my drug because I dug you so much I felt like I couldn't live without you. I needed my fix. So you stay relevant in my headphones from the first time I heard your voice, so dope. I immediately became addicted, I overdosed, and from that moment on I overexposed myself to you, hip hop. You made me want to MC, DJ, graffiti write, and be a B-girl simultaneously, instantaneously turning into a microphone fiend off of blending your mending melodies. I move my legs crazily and scratch your name in notebooks with my name last. And now when I see your eternal reflection in the looking glass, I knew what the far side went through when they said they had to let you pass. And I live off of our past because now the present proposes that evolution has been diluted with noise pollution. I remember being so into you, not thinking that one day you would turn into something I couldn't bear to listen to. I refuse to believe that you evolved into some monster. I fear you now. Because you have forgotten that back in the day we spent a million hours of hardcore rhyming, counting beats and timing, poses that froze statuously, and traveled the contours of exaggerated calligraphy until our lungs couldn't hold the capacity of breaths, taking to find that perfect proportion of super funky and fresh, because now your legacy is all I had to remember you by. I'm not sure when our relationship died, but it's kind of like you've been in a rut since the days of making this look too easy got you stuck in Clear Channel controlling what radio station plays what. So instead of chucking those deuces up, I stayed by your side, holding on to those key factors in my medicine cabinet. I was ready to resuscitate you with hits in your chest of a Tribe Called Quest, 300 cc's of BDP, feeding your bloodstream with shots of Wild Style, all while mixing an elixir of Cool Red Alert and Cool Hurt, just to cure this hurt in your heart and remind you that you had me from the start, way before I even knew that hip-hop started out in the park. I knew that we were inevitably meant to be, because I can't get over you even though I built that bridge atop your roaring seas. I'm maintaining off of your memory, remembering those samples from the 70s, chopped up in MPCs and various beat machines. But when you awake from this comatose stagnancy, will you remember me? Will you remember that your birthday was when music was so carefree and people doubted your existence, and you proved to the world that your sound is brilliant? I know you hear me over the out-of-tune, auto-tune predecessors that uprooted the roots you planted. So with these seeds of knowledge that you handed me on the dawn of our anniversary, I will plant a tree of life in hopes that you'll one day bloom back into the tune I fell in love with. We'll just clap. Or no, we'll just snap. So this next one, I've been prefacing with, I don't care if they're your favorite rappers. Oftentimes, a lot of people don't like to hold the people that they've looked up to accountable. We've seen it a lot in the news. Not only with like hip hop icons, but you know, just like actors and directors and stuff like that. So this poem is to the men in hip hop who have caused bruises when hit records weren't enough. I see the headlines your names appear in, you know who you are. Nas, Fabulous, and others that I won't mention. Your dirty little secrets fell out of an overstuffed closet and onto news feeds everywhere. How you bruised brown girls purple, cracked the kaleidoscope, spilled the rainbows inside of it, knocked teeth out, punched your frustrations into a Vera-Wing contusion, and tried your damnedest to get away with it. While one of you did, the other didn't. Now you're both caught out there, red-handed. So consider this poem your sentencing, a lifelong term of me verbally throwing your music into the trash can. I can't separate your art from your crimes, like these once classic albums hurt too much to listen to. The world was yours, you was killing them, but it made me say, yo, who exactly have I been looking up to? Worshipping you as New York Dons, as God's sons, street disciples, but now You're just distant relatives. We never really knew any of you. We were blinded by the diamonds in your record sales. We were craving the gems in your bars. We were in awe over your 16s. I wonder why men like you are praised. Dressed in Gucci and Ferragamo for the red carpet as if you're the recipients of an Ike Turner Lifetime Achievement Award for the best black and blue girlfriend or wife in a fight scene. And when these women finally did speak out, or rather, when they were found out, they were called liars, crazy baby mamas, money hungry. They were tarred and feathered for staying and never saying a word, but when the wind gets strangled out of your throat, all you want to do is breathe, and all these people want to know is why these women didn't leave. See, I bet you didn't think that you could be a villain when you had a superwoman by your side. Blacking out with a belly full of Henny, Grey Goose, and a whole lot of hydro. You had a cup of virgin blood mixed with 151 and it made you flip. Had us thinking that life was good because they made you better, but you stayed with the old, this comes with the territory bullshit, like rappers can't be faithful and keep their hands to themselves, like you would never use your punchlines for more than just writing songs. Boy, were we fooled. The money must have made you think you were invisible while your speeding bullet fists made grand entrances in arguments, murdering smiles, gifting veneers with a half-ass apology and a death threat. You don't get a pass for your abuse because your fame holds you on a pedestal. Statistics say that a woman makes an estimated 7 attempts at leaving an abusive situation before staying away for good. I have heard it takes one phrase to make someone stay, like, I'm sorry, but how many times does I'm sorry really mean this is the last time? And by the last time, I mean this will happen again because, and I quote, you can't spell believe without a lie in the middle, right, guys? After all, this is love and hip hop. And that's it. And that's it. That's some poems that I'll compete with if I'm slamming against, if I'm slamming in a competition. But I actually wrote that one last year. The first one I wrote, gosh, I want to say I wrote that in 2012. But that one, there was a lot happening in the news with the rappers and domestic violence. So I just felt like this is a necessary poem to write. So that's it. So where should we go from
They can introduce themselves to you. By the way, she is a VA legend. We've reached out to a few who has showed up. She always shows up. When I did my radio show at Norfolk State for Women's History Month, which was March 2016, she came through and dropped some knowledge on us on the mic too. So
I almost got us in trouble because I did like a police.
Don't I always push the envelope? Don't I always push the envelope? So, and I thank her for coming through for that. Y'all tell her who you are. If you want to give a quick intro about what you do, where you come from. Ronil, yours is very interesting. You probably definitely want to spit that out. But go ahead. We'll start with Shanita.
I'm Shanita. You want to just tell a fact about us?
You can. Where you from? You VA, but let her know. Whatever you feel comfortable.
Chesapeake.
Okay.
I'm Heather from Chesapeake. Married, 4 kids.
Okay. All right. Right. Chesapeake's in there.
I'm James Scully. I'm from Virginia Beach, and I live in Chesapeake.
Okay. All right.
O'Neal Giles, I'm from Hudson, Mississippi.
Okay. All right.
He's our wild card.
All right.
I'm Sydney. I'm a Chesapeake kid.
All right. So a lot of Chesapeake. I'm originally from Virginia Beach, but I live in Norfolk. So that's that. I did prepare a small workshop because you had requested that. So
That's fine.
let me grab my handout. So there's nothing too crazy. I just figured that it would be pretty cool if we all wrote our own interpretation of what we feel like is a spoken word poem. So make sure I don't accidentally hand you guys my haiku.
And also, Steph, when you leave, can you make sure the legends that you spoke, can you give a copy to me if you don't have a copy? Okay, so I can send that to them. Also, can you make sure, when they get your information, if that is okay, because some of them may want to come check out the event. Some of them may want to also figure out how they can join the state team for the teens and adults. So if you can drop them with that knowledge, that'd be great.
Yeah, so right now we're in our exhibition slam season since we've already...
And she's my supplemental instructor, but yes, I want one of those too.
We're in our exhibition slam season, which basically means we're not, like, we've already formed our team. So the next exhibition slam is March 6th, which is week after next, I believe it is.
I think it is.
Yeah, because
It's,
Wait,
it's,
I don't know how
it's
to math.
soon. No, it's okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
I think it's the week after next.
Let me
but,
see. It's in 2 weeks, and it's a Wednesday.
Let's see.
You said 6, right?
Yeah, March
Mhm.
6th, yeah. So I was going to try to dig through my Twitter and see if, actually, I'm able to.
Yeah, as long as you don't mind
something.
something that's about to be shown. If you need to do a passcode or anything, you might want to tell me if I need to turn off the screen or anything.
I'm just going to pull up my.
Did y'all appreciate her coming through? Y'all like what she dropped?
Yeah.
It's something different, right? That's why I get on your last class, why I went in. Because I'm like, you know how many people want what this class is offering?
I talked to Jenna May and told him that you do
Linguistics.
I don't
You're
know
good.
how to word
You're
it
good.
either. And he said that he wanted to holler at you about it because that's
Sweet.
what he's getting into. But
Okay.
this is, excuse me, this is just like a little generic flyer that I made for every first Wednesday of our Bender Slam at the venue on 35th Street. We always need spectators, poets, and judges. So if you're interested in maybe like judging, or if that terrifies you, because a lot of people are like terrified of judging a slam. Like, oh God, I don't want to give them a too high score, but I want to give them a too low score.
If you need the information, I suggest you'll take a picture really quick while she has it up.
Yeah.
Do you mind popping it back up real quick, large?
Oops.
The one you just had? No, yeah.
I think this is about as large as it gets.
No, you're fine. I'm talking about for them so they can snap it for you.
Yep, and I'm SL5 on Instagram if you have Instagram. Steph_love 500 on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, but I post the most on Twitter. I don't know why I love Twitter so much. I just feel like I literally, I don't know, I just be feeling like sometimes I like talking to myself on Twitter, so. But, just to put a couple faces to the names. So this was our team last year, minus one person. We did, this was like a quick, like, we did individual videos on Who's Johnny Creative, but this is our team from last year, minus this lady right here, Kaz. But Jenna May right here, Kaz and Maddie are on my team again.
And Maddie is also dope. I didn't mean to cut you off, but she does stuff in Espanol.
Yeah,
También,
she
sí.
does a lot
Dos
of
lenguas.
about her heritage.
Mhm.
She's Dominican, so this was from our Grand Slam. This was all who competed. So this guy made it.
I'm glad he made
This
that.
lady made it. This guy made it. This lady made it. So yeah. So the original like top four was Jenna May right here. Said, so when Jenna May got first, Said got second, Child got third, and Kaz got fourth, and our alternate was Anthony. So this is what happened. Said had to step down, so Anthony stepped up, and then Anthony had to step down, so I went to the 6th place person.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Maddie is now on my team, so, so I'm very excited. So this quick little workshop. So free verse and spoken word.
Do you mind if I keep recording this part? Or? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep. All right, so free verse and spoken word. So free verse is an open form of poetry. It does not use consistent meter patterns, rhyme, or any other musical pattern. Many poems composed in free verse tend to follow the rhythm of natural speech, so like conversational. Spoken word poetry is poetry that is performed on stage, or it can be written for reading only. Elements such as wordplay and voice inflection are important for crafting spoken word poems. So some key elements when writing these poems: metaphors. A metaphor is a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object for action to which it is not literally applicable. So from Romeo and Juliet, Juliet is the sun. So she's so bright, she is the sun. I decided to throw a Cardi B reference in there. I just felt like it was right. So these, I put R in parentheses, in brackets. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. So the metaphor is, she's wearing Louboutins, which I can never afford, which I'm totally okay with never affording. And they are quote unquote bloody shoes. So similes, moving on. Figure of speech involving the comparison of one thing with another thing of a different kind, used to make a description for more emphatic or vivid, and I did not finish that sentence. Oh wait, no I did. Used to make a description more emphatic or vivid. So Busta Rhymes, scenario. So he's like, row, row, like a dungeon dragon, change your little jaws because your pants are sagging. So I like giving that example to kids that have never heard of Busta Rhymes because they're like, I like to have them read it. They're like, row, row. So, and then of course, Lauryn Hill, how many mics, sweet like licorice, and then the rest of the term, or the rest of the verses, sweet like licorice, dangerous like syphilis, yeah. So, figurative speech, language that uses words or expressions with a meaning that is different from the literal interpretation. This is the overall meaning of metaphors and similes. So, imagery, visually descriptive or figurative language, especially in literary work.
Descriptive essays. Preach. Everything you got here.
I like to use a lot of imagery in my work. I want you to see it. I want to be more punchline heavy, especially like in slam. That's what does really well. Like when you get the crowd like, oh my God, you know, like they're throwing books. They're not throwing tomatoes, they're throwing books, you know, like whatever. So, but yeah, delivery is how the poem is read or performed. Are you putting feeling and emphasis into the words? Let's see it instead of saying it. So that's reading versus performing. So the exercise, if there's enough time, is there enough time?
Of course.
Right? Okay. So, well, how much time? I think we can do like 15 minutes. You don't have to write like this full like 5-minute poem. But the exercise is to write your own spoken word or free verse poem. You can come up with your own concept, or I gave you a few topics below. One that was kind of popular with kids was they keep mispronouncing my name. I was like, that's like anybody's name could get misspelled or mispronounced, you know. But it's like, when you're a kid and it's like, that's not my name, you know, so that was like really, you know, popular with them. Comment sections be like, because comment sections are the devil at times. Procrastination, an ode to waiting until the very last minute. This is probably something that I should probably write about. And the last one, and next on the 6 o'clock news. So those are just some topics to get you started. But if you have your own, if you want to vent about something, if you feel comfortable with saying some personal stuff, maybe it was an ex-lover, maybe it was, you know, a situation that just had you fired up, like whatever you want to write about. So I'd say about 15 minutes. Yeah, this is me going back.
I'll cut it now. So
And let me know if you need help.